I've been involved in real estate for over 20 years. I've started and grown two different real estate brokerages to over 100 agents. The first one with a partner, the second one by myself. We dealt primarily with residential real estate. So I've been very heavily involved with real estate for a very long time, recruiting, training new sales associates. I've also been training for many, many years, including with the Miami Association of Realtors.
That is awesome. So we're here today talking about veterans. And my understanding is you are a veteran. Can you share with us which branch of the military that you served in?
I served in the Marine Corps. I was a sergeant. I was in from 1978 to 1982. So it's a little bit after Vietnam.
Do you remember the circumstances around when you joined and how you made the decision and maybe even the day you enlisted?
Well, there's a couple of factors. First of all, I always wanted to go to college, but I felt it would be pretty boring just to go from high school straight to college. I kind of felt like I wanted to see the world a little bit and have a bit of an adventure, and at the same time, maybe give back a little bit. And then I looked at the different branches. And I thought, the Marine Corps seems to be a little bit more serious than some of the other branches. So that's how I made the decision.
Where were you first stationed?
Well, I was first stationed in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
I was there for some naval training. But then of the 4 years that I was in, three of them, it was in peacetime. I was stationed in a really tough place called Kaneohe, which is on the north shore of Oahu.
Okay. All right. So, and it is a little bit about the times you were in for sure. Can you share one of your most memorable experiences during your time serving?
What I remember most are 12 to 15 hour days, 6 days a week, and only having Sunday off. So yes, I was in Hawaii, but it wasn't vacation, that's for sure. But it was interesting work. I enjoyed. I was in the air wing. I was a jet engine mechanic.
Okay.
So that's what I did for many, many long hours. It was a good experience. Loved being in Hawaii. So I guess my most memorable was being and living in Hawaii for 3 years.
Yes, that it's one of the benefits is getting to see a bit of the world. When you left, what did you do?
So I pretty much made up my mind that I wanted to go back to school. Decided to get a degree, something related with IT. At the time, computers were just coming out and it was a thing. So I went and got a bachelor's degree in information systems. So what I did was to help financing my schooling, I also joined the reserves. So I did 2 more years of active reserves. And I got a part-time job as a student working at the school library. So most of the time I was working on my bachelor's degree. I was working in the library and also serving in the reserves.
You certainly had a lot of drive. So when did real estate enter your life?
Well, like some people, I kind of backed into it. My ex-wife got into real estate. She started doing really well. And she says, why don't you get your real estate license and help me out on the weekends? Because I was still working in technology. So I went, I got my license. And then 2 months after I got my license, the instructor called me up and invited me out to lunch. We went out and he said, I'm interested in opening up a real estate brokerage. Would you like to be my partner? I was totally floored because I was like, I just got my license. I don't know anything about real estate. And he goes, yes, but you have a computer background, a technology background, and a management background. He goes, I can benefit from that and I can teach you the real estate stuff. And by the way, he was a former instructor at Gold Coast. He also graduated from Harvard Law School. So I was really flattered, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that is great stuff. And it's amazing. It's the people we meet in our lives that help determine the path it's going to take. That's a really cool story, Jose.
I never looked back. It's worked out well for me.
Yeah, good for you for taking that jump. So when you think about real estate, are there any skills you learned from being in the service that are applicable to your real estate career? Sounds like it.
Well, there are some skills that are applicable, some not so much. But I would say one thing that did stay with me was accountability. I was always raised that you take responsibility for your actions. But in the military, I would say even more so. You don't make up excuses if things go sideways. You take it on the chin and you explain what happened and why it's not going to happen again. So accountability to me was a big deal. It was reinforced while I was in the military.
I can absolutely see how in real estate, because you do need to be disciplined. And so, you're almost accountable to yourself a lot in real
Yes,
estate, right?
I like telling students, you know what's good about real estate? It depends on you.
What's your favorite thing about the real estate industry?
To me was, for me personally, running and managing a large real estate brokerage was training and supporting the licensees. Somebody comes on board, they get their license, but unfortunately, they're not fully trained for being
Yeah.
successful in real estate. So I really enjoyed doing the training and the mentoring of new licensees. Now they're not all successful, but the ones that are, it really gives you a lot of satisfaction. And not everybody has to be a top producer. There's plenty of new licensees that do 2 or 3 transactions a year, and they are fine with that. They have their full-time job. That's all they want out of their real estate license. So that's fantastic. If I could help them succeed and achieve their goals, then perfect.
Yeah, that's great. It is satisfying to give back and to see new individuals soar in this industry for sure. So, as we're talking to veterans and active service members, any advice you would have for them if they're considering a career in real estate?
Well, what I would say to new licensees is take as much training as you can, absolutely, from the association, from your broker, from whatever. But whatever training you receive, you have to make it your own. You have to adapt whatever they're telling you, do it maybe 5 or 10% better than anybody else, and you'll be successful. You don't want to just duplicate and do the exact same thing everybody else is doing. You have to do it slightly better. So make it your own, modify it, and just do it slightly better than everybody else.
That is awesome advice. Very, very cool. So, as we sort of wind up here, is there anything else that you think would be valuable for either an active military or veteran to think about or to know? Any final thoughts?
Well, I think real estate is something that you can make a very healthy and profitable living from, but it's not easy. You do need to dedicate yourself to this, and you need to take it seriously. You need to sit down, put together a business plan, work with your broker, make sure you sign up with a broker that's going to provide you the type of support and mentoring that is required to get started. And if you apply yourself, there's no reason why you shouldn't be successful in real estate.